Hey everyone, Hanz here, hope all of you're doing well. In this video I'm going to talk, I'm going to make a continuation of my last video where I thanked quite a few people. And I think I'm just going to continue there. There are 3 more names I definitely want to mention. And after that, I think I'm just going to drop a few questions for you guys, right? And it's up to you what you do with them. So it's going to be a short one, and that's the intention at least. So with that said, let me just get into it. I definitely wanted to say thank you to 3 more people. Let's start with David Whitehead. David Whitehead, Canadian fella, is very big in martial arts. Has made in the last 2-3 years a lot of content on truthwarrior.com is one of his ways how you can find him, where he made a documentary, or as he calls it, the Cult of the Medics, which has been very insightful, has been very helpful in understanding what is going on in the last 2 years, like basically who's been pulling the strings of society, if you will, and the compliance that is taking place that maybe shouldn't. Also has worked together with someone else I'll mention in a minute you know what, I'll mention that in a bit. Has done a lot of content where he invites people in to do their story. Also the one of or a few of the guests, eminent people who are working in the healthcare sector, if you will, who have in their own way exposed, and which he helped with exposing a lot of information on how to look at illnesses and what have you, has been very eye-opening, has been quite infuriating, I would even say. I personally wasn't very happy with hearing anything about it, but it's not like the messenger can be faulted for that. It's the people who do the ill to people that should be held accountable. And also the stories of some parents who almost or did lose their child to all that has been going on. Also some not only related to what happened in the last 2-3 years, but some more sinister affairs. I'm just gonna put it like that. Don't want to get too deep into it. I guess I'm gonna leave a link if you want to look for it yourself. For all of that though, I'm definitely going to thank David Whitehead for the work that he has done and continues to do. It's been a treasure chest for me at least, and for the interested, yeah, maybe go give it a glance too. But you, Mr. Whitehead, thank you very much. There's also someone else I wanted to mention, which is Laurelise Cave. Some of you probably already heard of her. She is a Jungian astrologer. Yeah, there you go. And she has done some excellent works also on looking at Professor Tolkien's works, Lord of the Rings, in a Jungian archetypal what would you call that? From a Jungian archetypal lens. Let's put it like that. Yeah. It's been a hard day, guys. Can you tell? I'm struggling to speak. But in a good way. I've been exercising a lot. Yeah, and just generally also being there to do right by society in general, wanting for things to turn around for the better. The gender dysphoria is something that she is working on right now, as far as I'm aware, on how to put a stop to the systematic child abuse that takes place across the West and maybe beyond. I do not know about that. And yeah, for that, Lorelei or Miss Scave. Thank you very much. It's been excellent, the work that you provided, and I've learned a lot from them. And last, but definitely not least, is Michael Tsarion, Irish fellow, who who is just this amazing maverick scholar, you could say, who has delved into countless philosophers and sages and even evildoers of the past, looked at their works, went through them, and plucked out everything that could be useful today, not without, while still remaining humble enough to say, like, go do it for yourself if there's something about this work that you dislike. Even though this guy has 30 years on well, anyone that is that was born in the 2000s and maybe even 90s, maybe 80s, I do not know about that, but anyways, this guy has a few decades on him, on some very deep research, has come up with some books of his own in the meanwhile. Some of it is perhaps a bit too difficult in the sense that it's you really get confronted with yourself when it comes to Mr. Tsarion's works, but I personally accept that challenge. It's not for everyone, and so be it. Also, just his insights on the psychology of man, always very helpful, very educational, if you want to just take him on. And also through him, along with some others that I've already mentioned, it helped me refine the worldview that I already had, in a sense, or my observations and how I apply them in my life. He helped refine a lot of that, and yeah, for all he must have gone through, for all the charlatans and the professional mockers, if you will, the people who get paid to downplay him as someone you shouldn't heed because he doesn't have 20 PhDs or whatever it is. I'm still going to definitely say thank you, Mr. Tsarion, for all your work and for everything that must take every impact on you as a person that must have had. Like, it doesn't do it justice that I that I speak of it in like 1 minute here or 2 minutes, but for what it is worth, I am definitely very appreciative, and thank you very much for all you have done and are doing and probably will continue to do. Thank you. Okay, those are 3 names, and I will hopefully remember to leave links. If not immediately, eventually the links will be in the chat below. I actually wanted to continue a little bit on my book, Thunraz the Thulian, Clash of the Skiffii. Most of you know it already, which is excellent, of course. I actually had a few questions for you guys. I'll just get into it, I suppose. Well, 2 main questions, I suppose. The first one is, if you have bought a copy from Amazon, some people have been asking and they didn't quite know where to go or what have you. You can leave a comment on Amazon, on the Amazon page where the book is, right? You should type in the title of the book, you'll find it, you go there, and if you have bought the book, you should have the option to actually leave a comment, and well, that's where you can do so. So, having said that, because that's not really a question at the end of the day, but if you want to go there, or if you want to leave a comment anywhere, that's at this point in time the best place. And there is one question, I suppose, that remains then, is, so as most of you already know, I'm going as far and wide as I can, which has its limits, of course, in approaching people and let them know about the book. I have actually talked to people randomly in the street about it, and they seem interested, so that's always nice. But there is one step extra, and that is the approach to bookstores. Now, if you want to help Hanz, which would be very appreciated. And in your local bookstores, they have a fantasy, pulp fiction, high adventure, sword and sorcery section, or they're just willing to try out something new. What would be helpful is if you would talk to the cashier, who will probably refer you to the manager or will send you a card. What you could do is reach out to these people, see if they are interested, and if they are bookstores that do not work with Amazon, then say that that's still okay, and still ask for their card, if you will. And what you can then do, if once you will usually just get a phone number, an email, a business card is probably what you'll get most likely, if the manager doesn't appear straight off the bat. And if you would be willing to do this, present a book. It's like, hey, there's this guy who's trying to kick off his his book, and maybe definitely would like to continue with his career as an author, and I'm here to lay out this work because it's really awesome, because he's a chill dude, or whatever the reason might be that you want to help Hanz. Yeah. Depending on what they say, if they say no, we don't take any new books, so be it, right? But if they say, oh yeah, sure, well, we're willing to have a look at it, if they work with Amazon, then and they do not, maybe something still can be figured out. So what I'm asking basically is if you would like to do that, if you feel helpful in that way, feel generous in that way, to get that business card, and then probably after that reach out to DVX Publishing with what is the best way, perhaps? Well, or you can reach out to me, leave it in the comment section below in my YouTube or what have you. That's fine. I mean, it's you basically are advertising for these bookstores, so they can't be bought, they don't have a problem with that, right? And just leave it with DVX Publishing, that's maybe for the best, or leave it with me, and then I myself can go to DVX, or the guys from DVX themselves can in turn reach out to these bookstores to make more conclusive arrangements in selling Thunraz the Thulian. Right now there are 2 bookstores who have agreed that Thunraz the Thulian is going to be on their shelves. It really is all dependent on how quick we can move forward with that via DVX. And yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it, guys? I'm so happy with that. I can't wait actually to show up in these bookstores and take maybe a quick picture while I'm at those shelves, or have someone else do it for me. That depends a bit. But yeah, the ball is really rolling, guys, and it just dawned on me a few days ago that what if just across the entire world, where everyone might be who happens to listen into Hanz once in a while and wants to help Hanz, goes to his local bookstore and maybe asks for a business card, and let DVX know about that business, provided they want to have Thunraz the Thulian on their shelves. That would be very helpful, guys, and girls, of course. It's all up to you. I'm not I'm very happy with how it stands already. It's just a matter now of how swift is the motion going to be. And yeah, the more people that are willing to help me, logically, the math being there is 1 times 12 is 12, for example, and whatever amount of bookstores might be interested in that. And of course, I personally am always very happy to see local small-time businesses to be a little bit more boosted, if you will. So yeah, I think that's kind of it. Yeah, so again, thank you to David Whitehead, thank you to Laurelise Cave, and thank you to Michael Tsarion. Excellent works. Even the forest spirits are happy, as you can hear, perhaps. And for anyone that wants to help me with this endeavor, to reach out to bookstores, thank you very much as well. beforehand as well. It would be such a big boon to well, not only to Hanz but everyone involved who might be able to eventually make a livelihood out of selling the book, and who knows what follows from there. All right, okay, gonna leave it here. Thank you for your time, and you all have a good one, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.